How's it going, people? Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, go over to Instagram, Turkish LDN, follow me on there, and go over to my Twitter, Turkish LDN, follow me on there too. Finally, some news to bring you guys, some news to talk about. And it's not the usual fucking transfer shit. This my kind of news. Woke up this morning, went to work, obviously found out a statement has come out from a few of, I think, 14 Arsenal fan groups, or some fans have all signed it. And I've read through the statement. I'm about to read through it again in a minute. But I support the whole thing, and the hashtag WECAREDOYOU is currently trending on Twitter. So I'm all for this movement. I'm all for just rounding up the fan base and getting our message across. So yeah, let's get straight into it. I might as well just start reading off the letter and giving you my opinion on all the areas they covered. So yeah, it says some fan groups have clubbed together to demand change. It actually has my interview here on the Express, my interview at the KROENKEOUT kit launch protest. So let's get into the full statement. Where is it? Here we are. Hashtag WeCareDoYou. As Arsenal fans, we have watched with frustration as the team's football performances have declined over the past decade. When Kroenke began buying Arsenal shares, the club had just competed in its first Champions League final. 12 years on, Arsenal are about to play in the Europa League final for the third year running. Facts. Speaks for itself, to be honest. You don't really need to add nothing to that. When you took over, we was in our first Champions League final. 12 years on, we're about to be in the Europa League for the third year running. Nicely put across. Off the pitch, fans have never felt more marginalised, less listened to or valued. This was sadly illustrated when Stan Kroenke forcibly bought out the last remaining support of shareholders without even a word of appreciation for their custodianship role in the club. It feels as though Arsenal is at a crossroads. Things need to change. Again, very true. I do feel marginalised. I do feel less listened to as a fan, less valued, definitely. And Stan Kroenke doesn't give a shit. That's why he hasn't said no words of appreciation or nothing. But yeah, going more into it, what all of us as signatories to this statement want to see is meaningful action by Stan Kroenke to reinvigorate our football club. This requires work to strengthen the club's board and football executive, and to once again make Arsenal a place where fans have a real sense of belonging. Very true. Very true. Part and parcel of being an Arsenal fan when I was growing up was the sense of belonging, the sense of that this is home, the sense of this is our club. Do you know what I mean? That's completely been ripped out since we moved from Highbury. And it was all part of the plan, if I'm honest with you. It was all part of the plan. Change needs to start with better leadership. In his takeover document, Stan Kroenke said, KSE's ambitions for the club are to see it competing consistently to win the Premier League and the Champions League. Yeah, fucking right. Not once in his ownership have we competed for either. Not fucking once. So that again, yep, nicely put in there. We see little evidence of how this is to be achieved. Instead, our club feels like an investment vehicle, personified by the owner's statement that he didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies. There you have it. Literally, he did say that. So it counters what he originally said with KSE and their ambition to consistently win the Premier League. They said consistently win the Premier League and the Champions League, not even consistently challenge. I don't know if that's a misquote or whatever, but I don't feel the need or the divine right to consistently win these things as an Arsenal fan, but we deserve to challenge at least. We are a massive club, massive fan base, loyal, massive history in London. Come on. Ambition needs to be showed first and foremost. Ambition. Forget the whole winning these things right now anyway. But yeah, it is sad that an institution like Arsenal FC has such passive ownership. All of us want to see a clear sense of purpose and direction. KSC should start by being more open and accountable and explain how they intend to achieve the goal of winning the game's major trophies. Yeah, to me, that's all done for, man. They ain't gonna show me anything for me to believe in right now. Even if they come out and say something in the next 6 to 12 months, I won't believe them. The actions speak louder than words. Yeah, and their actions have been fuck all since they've been in charge. Forget the majority ownership, since any interest was applied to Arsenal Football Club. Achieved the goal of winning the game here. So if Stan Kroenke is going to be absent from London, he needs to make sure the board he delegates is fit for purpose. And yes, that again is facts. A lot of people are trying to blame Emery. A lot of people are avoiding going in the direction of Stan Kroenke at the moment. But at the end of the day, if he's going to be so far away from the club, if he's going to just play literally an ownership role and do fuck all, then the people he employs, the people he puts in place, need to be football people. This Vinay guy, I don't trust him. Yeah, to be honest, he looks like a scumbag to me. Like, I think he's definitely a company man. Raul, I don't know why a lot of people are getting onto him. Like, you need to give him time because he has done stuff for Barcelona. He worked there through probably their greatest period in definitely recent history. So he's someone that I'm willing to give a chance to, but Vinay just looks like a snake. Edu coming in is obviously good as well because he is an OG. He's like, he comes from one of our great periods. So that was a move in the right direction. But at the end of the day, it's still bullshit. Like 7 weeks into the transfer window, we've signed Martinelli and we've appointed Edu as a director of football. Like, come on, like. Proactive. I've been screaming proactive for years, and this club has never even tried to be proactive. Never. Fucking be proactive. And then we got fans making excuses for them. Oh, we don't sign players in June, it's July. Fuck off, man. Be proactive. The way you're going to be proactive is get your signing sorted early. Get your departure sorted early. Get your structure sorted early. Edu coming in halfway through the thing. Let me not even get into that. Let me continue here. There's a desperate need for some new and dynamic appointments. The addition of independently minded directors can act as a genuine check and balance on the owner. Ideal candidates would have football and commercial expertise relevant to the needs of a football club in 2019, and ideally some Arsenal DNA. Agreed. That's a good request, I guess. But again, we might be given... That sort of request takes time, and we might be given more time than I think he deserves. So obviously it's a different approach to how I've been going about things, because I do want the guy out. It's a more like talk to us approach. But again, I support anything that's putting pressure on the man, because he needs to do fucking something. Arsenal have invested money in recent years, but their approach to both buying players and paying wages looks uncoordinated and appears to lack strategy. There has also been a lot of turnover in the senior football personnel. A strong board will be proactively managing this. Proactive. I like that. Because that's what the fuck we need to be. On a match day, the Emirates Stadium can be a soulless place. Oh, yes. Definitely. Soulless. Trust me on this. Soulless. I know a lot of my subscribers are out of the London area, out of the UK. Emirates... I can't lie to you, it's not a great stadium to go to. I can't lie to you. I really can't lie. Like, the away games, the away fans banging, standing up full 90 minutes, no problems, singing 80 of those 90 minutes, like no issues whatsoever. That's why I prefer to go away games. But let me continue. The atmosphere is poor and there are thousands of empty seats blighting almost every game. If Arsenal really cared, they would make sure seats weren't left empty by investing in an improved ticketing system and actively supporting initiatives like safe standing. Yep, safe standing. We need that. That's all part and parcel of the atmosphere. Imagine you're just at Emirates and people telling you to sit down. Stewards coming over threatening to kick you out if you don't sit down. Like, are you mad? You know what? Oh, come on, man. I come from the era of no sitting down, home or away. So all of this stuff, like, is fucking bullshit to me. The club uses the strapline, always ahead of the game. It'd be good to see action to demonstrate this. Good, nice little cheeky send there. Finally, the very fabric of football in England and across Europe is at threat from proposals for a European Super League. I actually didn't read this bit earlier. These moves are driven by the greed of a few so-called elite clubs who want guaranteed entry into top-level European competition every year. Why care if you finish 5th or lower if automatic qualification is guaranteed? True. Just a cop-out. Just a fucking cop-out. Arsenal and the other clubs involved should understand that fans do not want more meaningless group stage fixtures designed only to rake in more broadcast and ticketing revenue. You could call it the franchisation of European football. Arsenal should immediately clarify they will have no part in this. It would be nice. I think we've come off subject a bit in that sense of things, because that subject to me, although it is picking up pace. It has picked up pace last season. I don't think it's our immediate concern with Arsenal, because if we don't get rid of this fucking owner, then. But at the same time, I do agree with it. So you gotta call him out, and I guess it's good. It would be good for Arsenal to come out and clarify the situation. But at the same time, with that subject, it's a bit difficult, because if the 5 other clubs in the top 6 go over to the European Super League and we're the only ones that don't, then potentially it does harm us and does do more harm than good. So yeah, that's a difficult one. Right now, I think the focus needs to be on the owner. The focus needs to be on making some sort of change, whether it's him leaving now, whether it's him coming out and clarifying certain situations and the model we're going to be using or changing into to get Arsenal out of this rut. But the European Super League is also a massive thing that's being talked about, because home and away games across Europe sounds a bit mad to me, but they're going to make their money through sales. What Arsenal don't understand is the fan base won't stay as loyal and how can I say it? As loyal abroad when you're not winning and you're not performing at a certain level. And that's the honest truth. We're already losing fans in London because Chelsea and Tottenham have come up. We're already losing fans. And then you've got a whole heap of fans that support us because they're on Ozil's nuts or on Xhaka's nuts or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And then you got the fan base abroad, which, listen, growing up, a lot of these other countries and continents, it was always Arsenal and United and Liverpool. Arsenal, United and Liverpool. But now you see Chelsea. Now you're seeing Tottenham. Like, it's what you do on the pitch that matters the most at the end of the day. Especially if you want to even be business-minded like you have been saying Wenger was and Kroenke is and all this stuff. It's not business-minded to let us go downhill at the pace we have in the last few years. It just doesn't make any sense. Short-term, long-term, it doesn't make any sense from a business aspect. Right, let me just round this up. As Arsenal supporters, we care deeply. Yes, we do. We would like to hear from our club and see actions that demonstrate that they do too. Yes, we do. The first opportunity comes when the managing director and the head of football speak to invited supporters on July the 25th. We urge them to address the issues raised here. We will watch with interest. The managing director and head of football, yeah? So who's that? Like Vinay, Raul, and Edu, not Raul, Vinay, Edu, or whoever it is. I don't give a shit. They're going to come out and say the usual bullshit. If I'm honest, they're not going to come out. Edu, he just signed. If he's the head of football, director of football, then what's he going to come out and say about Kroenke? Like, I think I understand trying to get him to talk first. I understand trying to just put it to them like this first. But listen, whatever they do in this window, the protests start against Newcastle away. Whatever they do in this window, because it's a lack of planning again. It's a lack of coordination. They can do whatever they want in the last 3 weeks. I just won't understand what the fuck we've done this window already. We knew what we needed. We knew players were going for a free because their contract's running down. We knew, for example, Koscielny probably wanted to go. We knew these things, but we haven't done anything. Yeah? So even if we do a mad thing in the last 3 weeks and sign 4 players, yeah? First, I'm going to look at the quality. Because like I mentioned with the Zaha thing, maybe there's cheaper, better, younger alternatives out there. What I also don't understand is, 1 week we're interested in a winger, let's say Zaha or Brahimi that time or whatever. Then it goes to Tierney. Then it goes back to Zaha. And now it's back to Tierney, 25 million bid. Like, is it just one person that deals with everything at Arsenal Football Club? Because how's it taking weeks on end to reply back to a rejection? We got rejected for Kieran Tierney the weekend or the week before our kit launch. We've only come back yesterday or Saturday to go and fucking put a 25 million bid in, only to be rejected again because you're fucking about. You're not giving the 25 million straight or 20 million straight, whatever it is. You're probably trying to give 12.5 million up front and the rest. Like, stop doing this, bro, before a team comes in and even nabs this guy. Like, because I actually like Tierney. I actually think that he could be a big part of bringing us back from this period into a better period, because he is a exciting young fullback with all the attributes that you see in maybe a Robertson or an Alexander-Arnold, for example. But Arsenal Football Club, stop fucking about, man. That's the moral of this fucking video. Stop fucking about. Big up everyone that kind of done this statement thing. They should have got more signatures, but big up everyone there. Obviously, Hugh Wizzy, that's my guy. That's my guy. Pick him up. But they should have got more people. But at the end of the day, the message is out there. The hashtag is trending. The pressure is on. I'm sure there's protests planned in America for the kit launch, or is that today? I don't know when the hell it's coming at. I'm sure there's protests planned at the games, because this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, we're still... This is bullshit, man. Video done, man. Video done. But you lot let me know in the comments what you think about the statement below, man, before I really get negative. But yeah, tomorrow or next day, people, I'll try to do a live tomorrow for you guys, maybe 7:38. But tonight, I'm on the same old Arsenal podcast with Lee Judges, Craig, and Harry Semu. So that should be good, because Harry's got quite the opposite thought process to me. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, make sure you tune into that 8:30 GMT, same old Arsenal. But obviously, you'll see that on my Twitter. You'll see that on my Insta. Yeah, tomorrow, people.